Hello, the audience. I decided to fix the console room. The secondary console room. Future me, if we could have a little before and after with this room. Yeah, I'm a little proud of it. Okay, yeah, so, showing off aside, well, that was bad. I could probably restart, but I'm not going to. Yeah, anyway, showing off aside, I'm making this video for a reason, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's just go ahead and say one of the reasons that I wanted to do this is because I actually made a secondary console room, and it looks fucking awesome. I decided the pillar should just be glass. There's a light up there that rotates, and then there's an elevator that takes you up to there. It's cool. If we lock up the thing, then the light will slowly turn back off. That opens the doors. I'm stupid proud of this. It took me quite a few days, and that's because I've needed to do something to get my mind off stuff. And that thing is what I need to talk about right now. God, I hope the microphone is actually recording this and my audio is not corrupted. That'd be super fucking annoying. Okay, yeah. So, the thing I wanted to talk about is pretty rough, and I haven't figured out how to talk about it exactly, so I just decided, fuck it. If this was the series that started with me ranting about having a broken microphone, then it'll function as a series ranting about my broken life, I guess. I do have to warn you that this is probably as bad as my life is going to get, so I apologize for the most likely needlessly edginess of a few sentences. So just bear with it. I just need to get some stuff off my chest. Right, for starters, let's just talk about what's been going on. This video is supposed to be addressing why there were 3 members of the B team, and now there are 2. The B team, if you aren't familiar, was originally a channel started and run by me and Adam, also known as Basculins, and Radam, also known as Steel Ages Gaming. If you're familiar with the channel, you probably already know that, but yeah. But I'm sure most people... okay, whatever. I'm kind of stalling because it's an uncomfortable thing to talk about, but it's an uncomfortable thing to think, and I really need to kind of say something about it. It's been really hard to say, and I'm hoping that maybe it'll either get easier to say as time goes on, or if it doesn't, then I can just show people this video, and then I won't have to relive the process of telling them over and over again. Yeah, okay. So, let's just start at the beginning of when this whole thing started. I don't know the exact date, but sometime around mid to early last year, I made this video. As you can see here, that not this video. If you're looking at the screen, maybe, then you'll see that on the screen is... Okay, whatever. Point is, I made that video, and that was the first time I ever took a risk that big, I guess. My decision making there, and it feels weird to have to explain it. Okay, I should probably stop here and say that what I'm going to be mostly talking about is how I feel, not what I actually logically think. So, I apologize if I say something that offends anyone or seems needlessly self-deprecating. It's just what I feel. So I'm going to defend coming out as if this were an apology video. So I'm not saying that prioritizing your own happiness and being who you are and embracing it is a bad thing. I just feel like it's a bad thing for me. I know logically that it isn't, and that it doesn't make sense to hold myself to a different standard like that, but that's what I feel, and you'll see why. Okay, so, right, back to that. It came out as bi in that video, and the next day I then told the people in person that didn't watch the video about it, and it was a pleasant surprise when I found out that everyone was supportive except for Radam, who got mad at me and said I don't get why it's such a big deal, which I understand in the context of me telling the story. I started there and presented it as that, so it does seem worse than it was, but you know, life is complicated, and at the time he was just mad for no explainable reason. Maybe he had a long day, or maybe some other thing was going on and I didn't understand, but he ever since then started acting a little more distant from me, and this isn't even the hard bit. This is the easy bit to talk about. Yeah, ever since then, he started acting a little more distant from me. And just kind of, I don't know how to describe it, just different. He didn't seem like being around me was pleasurable, I guess. I don't know. I don't know where to go from here exactly, because that was about 1.5 years ago, and that is a long period of time. So I don't know exactly where to go next with this story. Apologies if I hop around a bit. I might come back to some stuff. Okay, so I guess I'll go in sequential order. Judge me for this if you will, but one of the biggest reasons that I found out that I was bi is that I started developing feelings for Radam, and it wasn't like a begging for him to go out with me or anything. It wasn't that kind of thing. I'm sure that most people watching this video have had an irrational crush that just doesn't make sense. It's unprofessional. It's, I don't know, absurd to some degree, and they know logically that it's not going to work, but that doesn't stop the feelings from being there. And one night in conversation, Radam mentioned that we were on the subject of crushes, and he drilled me about what my crush was, and then I told him, and he said it was okay and that he understood. But I in hindsight, I don't think that it was. That I don't think that he saw it as okay. Which is a hard thing to feel, but it's a hard thing to think, I guess, that he felt that way. But he told me it was fine, and I need to be at peace with the fact that that's what he said, and I kind of owed it to him at the time to take him at face value with that. Yeah. So, what from there? I think the hard bit now. Okay. So yeah, after that, I sort of kept on my path of self-discovery and realized that I suppose lying awake in bed every night and praying that you wake up as a girl is not a normal thing to do. And that I came to the conclusion that I would actually, if I would be happier as a girl, then I should pursue that. Because it's, current year, and that's a thing that you can do. And I started by telling Radam first, because he always seemed like someone I could trust more than anyone, and it seemed like he would always have my back. And when I told him, he said it was great, and all that stuff, and he said that he had kind of known for a while and all that. But I'm sorry if I'm clipping the mic right now. I don't know how close I am. I haven't recorded in a while. Sorry, I'm getting off topic. Anyway, ever since then, he wasn't just distant. He actually started avoiding me completely, finding just any excuse not to hang out anymore. And it was painfully obvious that he didn't want to be around me anymore. One of the excuses that he used was, "No, man, I can't hang out today. It's the day before Mother's Day." Which is like a comically absurd thing to say. And it is kind of funny looking back on it, but it really did sting that I was worth less to him than the day before Mother's Day. Yeah. Okay, so this is where it's gonna get really fucking hard. It's not the hardest. I'll let you know when it gets super hard to talk about. But yeah. Okay, so one day I texted him that I kind of knew that he was avoiding me, and that I would really like to talk about what's going on, and if he didn't want to hang out anymore, that hopefully we could, find some common ground and then part on good terms. He then didn't reply, so a few days later, like 2 days-ish, I asked if now was a good time, or if whenever was a good time. Still nothing. A few more days passed until I was available to talk again, and then I texted him again, and still nothing. And at this point, I kind of feared that he might be ghosting me. So I tried texting him again, and still nothing. And then I tried reaching out to him on every platform I knew of, and still nothing. I ended up telling Adam Basculins from the B team about it, and then he tried contacting him on every platform, still nothing. And so after 2 weeks of this, I decided to just say fuck it and then go to his house and see what was up. And this is the part that gets really fucking hard, because this entire story up to this point has been mostly from my perspective. But now I need to start quoting what he's said. And I would like to say that, as far as I'm aware, this is probably not going to bode well for the rest of the story, but as far as I'm aware, this isn't slander, considering this is just what was said to me, and I'm going to try and communicate that in as flat of a fashion as possible. I'll tell you guys how I feel about it, but I won't present the information in this is objectively how you should feel about it. And please remember that I didn't write any of this down. any and all DMs that I had with him have been closed. So this is going off of the oh so reliable human memory. So, yeah, if anything legal springs from this, then that is a good fallback, I guess, is that this story is not going to be 100% accurate. I would love for you guys to hear another side of it, but I don't think you ever will. Okay, right. Anyway, so I go to his house, and I ring the doorbell, and about 3 minutes passed, and his sister comes up, and then I asked if Radham was home, and she's like, yeah, he's been, kind of like in the living room, like he heard the doorbell, he just didn't want to come up and answer. Well, I mean, she said, I don't know why he didn't answer. So, is that, and then, okay, so he finally comes to the door because his sister makes him, and then he said that he wasn't ghosting me. He said that he was ghosting everyone, and that like his new job's been super stressful, and that he's just been kind of depressed and distant from everyone. I then said I understood and that I'm sorry for pressuring him. And then when I got home, I texted him something along the lines of, I'm here for you, and like I support you, and I'll always be here for you. He then replied that he lied, that he wasn't depressed, and that he was just ghosting me because I've been unpleasant to be around for ever since I came out as bi. And that stung a lot. I believe his exact words were, I've not enjoyed hanging out with y'all for well over a year now, and I just can't force it anymore. So yeah. I replied that I replied thanking him for telling me at least, and that it really hurt to hear that, but at least I knew. And that I would still be open to talking with him again. He didn't text back, and about 2 months passed. This was all during the hiatus, by the way, I believe. I have not had the chance to make a single video after it. Yeah, so he didn't text or anything for 2 months. I figured that we were good to go our separate ways, I guess, but I kept beating myself up every night about it. And then, 2 months afterward, I had a really dark night, and didn't mean to quote a Nolan film, whatever. I was not having a good time one night, and I just wanted to... My thought was I would do anything to have him back, and so I decided, like, fuck it. I mean, my dignity counts as anything that I would give up, so may as well try and text him. So I texted him that I know it had been 2 months, but I was having a much harder time dealing with it than I thought I would, and that I'd still love to meet up in person and talk about it. And I said that I'd been really down on myself, and that I felt like a bad friend, and that I was just more of a parasite than a person. And he replied back agreeing that I was a parasite. I remember the last two messages because they were relatively short. I replied, I'll stop bothering you now, and he said cool. I closed the DM and lost all his contact information. And that's where it stands now. That was about a week ago. Every person that I've told this story to, which has been, the entire story has just been one. I've only told Adam or Basculins about it. And he was sort of fuming with rage when I told him. The rest of the story, which is everything before a week ago, everyone that I've told has also been really mad at him. But they haven't really been able to do anything because he also cut ties and contact with everyone that I am pretty much even slightly acquainted with. I've always kind of been the kind of person to assume the best in people, and that there's always two sides to every story and everything. And it's not only like confusing, but it's very scary to have a situation in which I don't know if there is another side to it. I don't think I misunderstood. He really did hate me that much that he was willing to insult me like that and cut ties with everyone I knew. It sucks, and I hate it, and I blame myself a lot for it. Not only for him leaving my life, but also for him leaving everyone else's as well. I can't help but feel like if that I made a decision that I weighed the pros and cons of countless times, and that I made the wrong decision because of it. And I know that this isn't, I don't know, it's not logical, and I'm not saying that if you're any sort of LGBTQ, etc. Thing, that you shouldn't be proud of who you are, or you shouldn't tell others who you are, but I'm saying that it's a lot harder than I thought it would be, and I'm not sure if I'm confident in my decisions anymore. This seems like the type of video that if I were to remove comments on, it would be it. But I hate when YouTubers do that, because they do that because people have something to say, and silencing people just for having something to say is a complete dick move. It's a dictator move. Okay. Sorry, wordplay is going to be a reflex forever. So, yeah. I don't exactly remember where I was here. Right, yeah. It's a lot of complicated feelings, I guess. It keeps getting filed in my brain as a trade that I get to be happy with whoever I want to be with, and I get to be happy with the personality and body I've always wanted to have, but in exchange, I had to give up someone I considered to be a best friend, and have him completely hate me and never have him back. And every time I consider it a trade like that, I never see it as worth it. If I had known that that was the sacrifice that I would have to make, I don't think I would have made that. Which, I know sucks, and I've talked with people on different forums and stuff about it, and apparently this is a common thing. I don't know, it just didn't... I suppose it's the classic, like, I didn't think it would be me. Like, I know disownment and stuff happens, and that some people just don't change, but I didn't think it would happen to me. I always thought that was meant for someone else, but not for me. I'm also going to quote Smash Mouth. Okay, whatever. I believe technically the Monkees did that first. That's like their one song that they technically did before someone else, but that's because they did their cover faster than the actual artist. Okay, whatever. That's needless trivia. Okay. Again, I'm not saying that... I'm just saying if you have also made that decision, holy fucking shit. Oh my god. I was scared out of my mind when I came out as each, because it was just uprooting everything that not only I knew about myself, but everyone else knew about myself. Yeah, I think I would have died of terror if I had known that that was going to happen. We were already at the exit. That maze is small. Yeah. This is... I don't know how confident I am in saying this, but I don't know if my life is going to get worse than this. And I'm not saying that in like an edgy way. I'm saying that in a... My best friend hates me for who I am after saying it was okay for over a year and said I was a parasite. And that is a new kind of bad feeling. It feels genuinely like a nightmare. Like I'm going to wake up any second now and reach over with my phone and text Radham about the situation, and he'll be like, "Oh my god, that sucks. Do you want to come over and talk about it?" But I know that's never going to happen. He genuinely hates me. And I don't think that's unfair to say, because I've been giving him the benefit of the doubt for 2 months. And then after what he said, I can't lie to myself anymore and say that he doesn't hate me. Because that's not something you say to someone you don't hate. I know that this was one of my New Year's resolutions in 2020 to get past my trust issues with this stuff, to stop letting people like this control my life, and stop bending to every one of their whims. And that's probably much, much harder than maybe all the other resolutions. If he contacted me again asking for forgiveness, hypothetically, my moral question is, should I forgive him? Now, I know a bunch of religious people would be like, of course, always forgive people. But religious people are also the ones that hate me and think I should go to hell, so let's not talk about them just yet. They've lost their place at the table here. Yeah, I don't, logically, if I were to work through it logically, I don't think I should. Because I've been burned on this stuff in the past. I got burned on it for a solid year and a half, plus 2 months. I shouldn't do that again. Luckily, for this thought experiment, I don't think I'll ever have to answer that question, because it seemed pretty clear that he wanted nothing to do with me for a long time, if not ever. It's the way he said things and what he said gave off the impression that, you know, he might leave town and literally never come back over fear of accidentally bumping into me. He'll probably not come to any sort of school reunions. Yeah. He never blocked me on anything, but I just took the step to lose his number so that I wouldn't text him like that again. It is still theoretically possible for us to contact each other. For example, we still do know our YouTube accounts. Each other's YouTube accounts. So if he were to contact me again, it would be in a comment section of a video. But apart from that, that's about it. Or meeting in person. We do still know each other's addresses. But given how... given what he said and what he's done, I don't think either of them are likely, and I can assure you he will never talk to me in person again. I just feel like shit, man. And that feeling is not going to go away for a long time. I know it will go away, but it's going to be such a long time. It feels like I've got the worst of both worlds right now. Because I'm not fully transitioned. I'm not even comfortable enough to use the voice training therapy that I've been doing. And I lost everything. Not everything, obviously, but I lost a lot of what mattered to me. And it feels like I got nothing in return. I'm sorry if this is a bit of a bummer. I'm not really. This can be a bummer. It's you came here for bummer. Well, you probably didn't come here for bummer, but you got bummer, so I'm gonna stop saying that word. I ruined it. Anyway. I really just wish I was a different person. I feel like in his mind, I went from being like a buddy cop style best friend to just being a gross weirdo that he just wanted to distance himself from. And of course I have the existential fear of, you know, maybe the rest of the world will always see me as a gross weirdo, and maybe all of my friends and family are lying to me right now, and I'm destined to only have true friends with other gross weirdos that our friendship is only shallow and skin deep, considering we're only friends because of our similarities. And I know that those people exist. I've met them where they have no, like, them and their friends have no real contact outside of, like, one shallow similarity. I guess you could say that would be Radham and his friends then. But yeah, it was a lot of, and will continue to be a lot of, you know, if I was straight, if I was cis, if I was just comfortable with who I was, if I didn't like him like that, if I had more money, if just 1,000 things of, if I was better, I guess. And I also want to say that I'm not making any sort of social commentary. That's how I feel. I'm not saying that if you are cis or rich or anything that you are better as a person, but that's how I feel, because that's, I guess, how he made me feel. Just sort of inferior for all of those reasons. This lever literally never gets pulled in any sort of proper game. Okay. I think I got it all out. I don't think I said anything weird or wrong or anything. Suppose I'll go on to channel updates and stuff. I would also... No, I don't know. I would love to end this on a sentiment of, if you contact me again, I'd love to rekindle something, or if he contacted me again, I'll do the mature thing and not forgive him and move on with my life as a happier person without him. But if he did contact me again, I don't know how I'd respond at all. Genuinely. I would have nothing to say. Again, I would just want to meet him in person. That would be the only thing that I'm sure I would want to do. Just talk about it in person. Because the last in-person time that we ever talked, he lied to my face. And I just... Okay. Right, so... And I'm pretty sure the story ends here. I regret to inform you, he will most likely never contact me again. This is where our story ends, and it really hurts that I now have to live my life without him, which is not something I ever thought I'd have to do. So, I'm going to try my best to be happy now. But, I guess drawing parallels to Doctor Who, it's kind of like regenerating and losing a companion at the same time. It's... And that fucking blows, that kind of thing. So, alright. Channel updates time. Did I... Oh my fucking god, I broke this lever how long ago? Christ. Okay, alright, well, since channel updates time, I'm going to leave the TARDIS to give a, better feeling of completeness and everything. Okay, right. So... should be back, I think, around October is what we're looking at. I wouldn't guarantee October. I would say somewhere between October and December. But it's really fucking annoying when, like, animators or something don't give any vague dates at all. It's like, in terms of the rest of your life and 2 days from now, it's got to be some time in between then. Can you agree? And then narrow that time frame into something roughly plausible. Like, that's all people are asking for when they're asking for when someone's going to come back or when a thing's going to be released. So yeah, I would say sometime between October and December. I don't know when that's going to be. This whole transition thing ends up happening. It has ended up happening a lot faster than I thought it would. For example, I'm getting my name changed this week. So fuck yes. Which... they told me it would take like 2 months, and it's taken like a month. So, that's nice. Yeah. It's not going to stop hurting for a long, long time. I just want to say that. Every time I feel happy about how my life has gotten better is a time that I will feel a pang of sadness because I could have shared that happiness with someone I love. And I think that's a good way of summing it up. It's that I lost someone I loved, and I'm not going to be okay for a long time about it. I feel like it's going to be one of those things that, kind of like an existential crisis, where it hurts a lot, and it doesn't really stop. It just goes from a strong, ever-present pain to a dull one. So, yeah. Okay. Right. So, in terms of updates and stuff like that, I think that's about it. In terms of what era this falls into, it doesn't really. This is just... I just wanted to make a TARDIS video, man. In terms of getting a third member, like a new third member of the B team, we theoretically already have one. I don't know what their availability is going to actually be, but they said that they would love to. So, we'll see. We may do just a few videos. Who knows? Who really cares? It's not like a put down. It's more of a... Okay, whatever. Point is, I did say that this is probably the worst that my life is going to get, so it's pretty much all uphill from here. Just a lot of bad things felt the need to happen all at once, and on the off chance that someone who's considering coming out is listening to this, if I might give some words of faux encouragement that I'm not really feeling right now, more talking logically, and maybe just a tough love kind of thing, people are going to surprise you. For better and for worse. I came out to Radam first because I thought of everyone that I knew that he would be the most okay with it. Since he'd always reassured me that he would be okay with it. But it turns out that he was the least likely to be okay with it. And he ended up hating me for it. However, my extremely Republican dad that voted Trump both times and, had flags and everything, was super excited that I told him. So I guess you never really know until you try it. And I would say through this rough patch, I'm going to have a much, much better life than I would otherwise. So if it's something that you're considering, I would say that it's a net positive doing it. And debatably, the thought process that crossed my mind is if someone can't handle it, then that's not someone you should have been around anyway. And I get that, especially now, that it's always more complicated than it may seem, and that people aren't always in the best situation to do it, safety speaking, like safety-wise. So, I guess, I guess I feel you would be a good way of summing that one up. Just, I understand how that feels now, to some degree, and it sucks. I don't know if I've ever felt worse in my life, on a more regular basis even. So, yeah. The rain is not something I did, by the way. It's thematically appropriate, but I cannot for the life of me figure out how to turn off the weather effects. And every time I remember that you can just turn off the weather cycle, it's been raining. So it's kind of like one of those things in Pokemon where you're trying to switch an item or something, but you only remember it after you can't, like you're in a battle. So it's annoying, and the rain doesn't go away. So, yeah. Okay, I think I've rambled for long enough. Hopefully the audio didn't corrupt. I'm not going to be recording for quite a while, huh? The first episode back and the next episode that I should upload will probably be Majora's Mask Part 6. That should be sometime in October and December. That's all I can really say for sure. I just really miss him. Okay. Well, That's off my chest. I won't have to explain that to another person in real life, or maybe it'll get easier. Who knows? That locked up, because of course it did. I guess I'm going to continue, like, stress working on this whole thing in the meantime. Okay, this video is overstayed its welcome. I've said more than enough on the topic. I just feel like there's something I can say, you know? Like a sentence that just sums it up better than anything else. That there's just something I can say that will just make it all seem better, but I guess there's not. I'm just not there yet. I don't know what I can say that'll make me feel better, so maybe next video I'll have something to say that'll make me feel better, or the person watching this feel better. I just really needed to make a video right now, because being in this TARDIS and making videos are two of the greatest joys in my life, and I really needed that right now at what I consider to be probably the lowest time in my life. And hopefully it will, well, I mean, anyway, hopefully this will remain as the lowest time in my life indefinitely, till I die, theoretically, and that it doesn't get worse than this. If something like this happens again, then I guess I'm experienced. And I guess I now know who actually cares about me in my life, and to a degree that's comforting to know that some people are, I guess, just better than others. Okay. I just thought of the sentence that sums everything up perfectly. Good night, everybody.